we have now about another 10 or so minutes for questions or succinct comments or reflections. Let us take the next question.
Thank you. That will come from Cheryl Gutman.
Hi. Thank you very much for this conference call. I really appreciated the last comment that was made by the rabbi in terms of what our role is to educate the public to realize, I think, that people aren't aware of the intensity and passionate nature of what is happening out there in terms of getting the support. What can we do in the field beyond what's already being done? And also, in pragmatic terms, what do you think is the best, who are the best candidates within Congress in terms of Republicans upon whom we can exert some pressure and get some response, some positive response?
So this is Gideon, and I'll take the second half of that question as well. Our understanding is that the candidates that the Jewish community activists, but also the broader coalition are focusing on are Scott Brown of Massachusetts, Lugar of Indiana, and Voinovich of Ohio. And those are the three most likely candidates for the second Republican original co-sponsor of the Senate bill. Who would like to talk about other advocacy opportunities?
Well, I'll just add, this is the time when we're starting tomorrow with contacting our congresspeople, calling in from around the country, and then we have to be vigilant. We need to meet with our congresspeople in the district, and in D.C. we need to educate our synagogues. We need to educate our youth. Today we have a group of, for example, Cambodian and Jewish youth in Chicago sharing each other's stories and learning how to do advocacy and work for immigration reform. So we know this is, we will succeed. It's going to take hard work and education and mobilization. Rabbi?
I would just say, part of what we have to do is to remind people of our own story. Someone asked me at the rally today, what should they do with their kids? And I said, have them interview their grandparents. I think we need to remind people that the only difference between a meeting of the International Lady Garment Workers Union and the New York Psychoanalytic Association was one generation. And that we need to be able to remind people that our story, particularly in this country, the story of having been having to fight to find a place and having secured a place, not to ever be the ones who would forget how difficult it was, how important it was, and how necessary it remains to be. And I think that the most important advocacy that you can do is to obviously contact your congresspeople, but then to begin to make sure that the story that we tell, beginning, next Monday night around our Pesach Seder tables, underscores the fact that we understand what it means to be to know the heart of a stranger because we were once strangers. And you know what? But for a generation or two ago, we were also once again strangers. I think unless we tell those stories, we will not succeed in doing the necessary advocacy work and grassroots organizing that needs to take place.
And let me add one more thing. This is Steve Guto from the JCPA. First of all, we will contact tomorrow our JCRCs in Indianapolis, Cleveland, and Boston and see what we can do in terms of the three senators that were mentioned, Brown, Lugar, and Voinovich. But also, any of you who want to get engaged in an advocacy effort right now, and it seems important that it is, please feel free to call our office in Washington and or to email us, and we will get you in touch with the JCRC in your area that may well be leading an advocacy effort. And if so, it would make all the sense in the world to add both to the numbers, because quantity does matter a little bit, but also to the passionate intensity of those who are on this call, because anybody on this call, I'm sure, is deeply committed to making this work. So let us know, and we would be glad to try to create a stronger engagement within for you with your JCRC.
Jane, did you want to add one last point?
Just a quick point, and thank you, Steve. And I think for each of us, we welcome and urge folks to call each of the organizations that are involved, and we will work with you to get involved. But we also need to remember that we all reach out as organizations and individuals to other groups and other communities, and who are working on this. That the power of this campaign nationally, I think 200,000 folks coming to D.C. is because there is a broad and deep alliance of organizations that's cutting across all of our communities, and that is powerful, and that's why Congress won't be able to turn their heads on this, and they will have to join us.
So I'd like to thank all of the speakers and end with a couple of final reflections. First, I was asked today in an interview how the Jewish community could help make America a more compassionate, or to use our language, to show Rahmanas to the rest of the country. And my thoughts on that are, one, that we do have to be very strong and realize that when people are suffering from injustice, we have to be compassionate to them, and to be compassionate is to fight. We also have to be smart and strategic, and to realize that there are many in our communities who are not racist and should not be smeared that way, but have not come to understand, for whatever reason, the importance to the country and the community of this. And I think we have an important challenge to also show Rahmanas to those people as well, and to work with them to bring them along as part of this important campaign. The second observation I'd close with is, some people, when they feel discouraged, will say, well, if this happened 3 months ago or 6 months ago, everything would be fine, but now it's too late. And I would end with the conclusion that it's never too late to work for justice, and that we have to keep ourselves focused on that. And to end finally with a website, as one always ends conversations these days, we have the We Were Strangers 2 page on the highest website for the coalition, and we've gotten an easier address. It is tinyurl.com/strangers2, 2 spelled T-O-O, and I'd encourage people to look there for a variety of Pesach-themed immigration materials, some programs that you could download to do in your communities, and a lot of other materials that we'll be putting up as the weeks and months go on, to assist people in the communities to engage with the issue. So again, thank you to all the speakers.
Gideon, can I make one quick sentence? This is Steve.
Sure.
I just want to make sure that everyone knows, and I want to thank you so from the bottom of our hearts. The work that Hyatt has done in keeping this movement together it's really legend, and it's really about what the organization was formed for our community, and now seems to be able to expand to the entire world in terms of being helpful and being there. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Again, I would have been happy for you to say something, even if it wasn't complimenting us, but thank you for the compliment as well. And thank you, everyone, and we'll look forward to move together from strength to strength.